Baier provides big update day before Kamala Harris interview on Fox. Can't wait to hear about this update. We know that her handlers don't want her talking about certain things. I wonder what those things are. I haven't really seen the clip yet, but I already know her handlers don't want her stopping. Do not want her. How can I say this? Do not want her to talk about certain issues, probably like the border or probably the economy or something like that. Probably some of the things that she polled very, very low in. So we're gonna talk a little bit about it. If I can talk today, I'm struggle talking today. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. Has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me on those platforms as well. All right, let's talk about this news. Now, this comes from the Conservative Brief. Let's see, is there an author here? From Martin Walsh. He reports that Fox News anchor Brett Baier provided a big update on Tuesday about his highly anticipated interview with Vice President Kamala Harris. I wanted to cover it live. I don't think I'll be able to cover it live. I think I have a client during that time, unfortunately. But speaking on Varney & Co. on the Fox Business Network, Baier revealed that Harris, quote, handlers placed some restrictions on a few things for the interview, which is set to air on Wednesday. So let's just get to that clip here. Here we go.
Look who's here now. Brett Baier, the man himself. Brett, congratulations. I bet.
Oops, sorry about that, y'all. I was trying to, let's rewind this some. I was trying to enlarge the screen here, but it won't allow me to do it. I apologize. But here we go. Let's try this again.
I've been trying to stay off social media. It's pretty amazing how engaged people are. But I asked for questions, and there have been some great ones. At Brett Baier on X and Instagram, Facebook. And there have been some great ones. And we have roughly 30 minutes. I was waiting to hear what the timing was going to be on commercial breaks.
Just 30 minutes? That's all they gave? That's all they gave them? Trump sit down and talks for like hours. She's only got 30 minutes. I wonder what she get on Joe Rogan, which Joe Rogan is a long form. Like, people literally sit for hours, 2-3 hours, and talk to him. I wonder how long he's going to get with her. Probably only 30 minutes as well, which is not, I mean, I really love the long form stuff, because with the long form stuff, people tend to get a little bit more comfortable and relaxed, and you can get more information out of them. So just 30 minutes is nothing.
Because of the powers that be. We're going to do it uninterrupted, unedited, straight through the whole interview, nothing left off, and then we're going to take a commercial break and come back with a panel. So I assume I'll get to a lot of questions, and if you had to guess, Stuart, it's the issues that people tell pollsters are most important that'll factor high.
Well, congratulations, Brett. I'm going to move on from that. Kamala Harris doubled down on her claims that Trump is dangerous and unfit for office. Watch this.
This man is dangerous. Not to mention Roland. Let's fast forward to right now. His staff won't let him do a 60 Minutes interview. Every president for the last half century.
Time and time again, I talk about this stupid 60 Minutes interview. He's not doing the 60 Minutes interview because 60 Minutes straight up lied when he did it the last time he did a 60 Minutes interview about the Hunter Biden laptop. They checked him on it and said, well, you make it's Russian disinformation and all. So he said he's not going to do a 60 Minutes interview until they apologize, and they refuse to apologize. So why do they keep throwing this out there? If they apologize to Trump, then he'll do a 60 Minutes interview.
Country has done one. Anyone who's running for president. Everyone has done it except Donald Trump. He will not debate me again. I put out my medical records. He won't put out his medical records. And you have to ask, why is his staff doing that? And it may be because they think he's just not ready and unfit and unstable.
Brett, I don't know whether you can comment on that kind of thing before your interview tomorrow, but it seems to me that her campaign has switched from joy to fear-mongering. Are you allowed to comment on that?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I think that it is a switch. It's noticeable. She used it in an event last night and called him unhinged and has called for his medical records and saying he may not be mentally capable. It is a little rich in that obviously the vice president at some point had to know about the mental situation of President Biden prior to the debate where everyone saw what we saw, and that led to him stepping down. So I think that she's definitely going to bring some of this up. It's clearly on her stump now, and we'll see where that goes. I think the former president.
So I'm a bit confused because they said something about handlers not allowing questions in this article. This article might be a little misleading. When they said that, hold on a second, let me see here. Right here at the beginning, speaking on Varney and Co., revealed that Harris handlers placed some restrictions on a few things for the interview, but he didn't allude to that in this clip here. So maybe they just posted the wrong clip. I'm not really sure, but I apologize for that. But for the first time, a noted election prediction model has shifted to lean towards former President Donald Trump after weeks of indicating that the race was a toss-up. The change results from a series of new polling data suggesting that Vice President Kamala Harris's national lead has diminished or vanished entirely. Additionally, multiple swing states now show that the former president holding a narrow lead in most of the battlegrounds that will ultimately determine the outcome of the next election. The UK's DailyMail.com reported. The outlet teamed with JL Partners to create an election model that now gives Trump's a nearly 63% chance of winning. Wow. Quote, when those numbers are fed into our exclusive prediction model, it shows that Trump would claim the overall win in 62.4% of our simulations. At the end of last week, he was at 59.8%. The new numbers suggest the momentum is with him rather than the vice president, and it shifts the overall results from toss-up to lean Trump, the outlet reported. Even so, with Harris having nearly a 40% chance of victory, the election could still be one of the closest in history. With 3 weeks left of campaigning, there is everything to fight for. Cullum Hunter, a data scientist at JL Partners, noted the key polls include New York Times surveys showing Trump with a 5 to 6 point lead in Arizona, while Harris holds a 3 to 4 point lead in Pennsylvania. And now this is leftist New York Times, I should add. Additionally, a Redfield and Wilton poll indicate Trump has a 2 point lead in Pennsylvania, the outlet reported. Again, with these polls, you kind of take it with a grain of salt. But, quote, the race continues to move in Trump's favor despite a New York Times poll giving Harris the edge in Pennsylvania, Hunter wrote in his latest briefing memo. This poll was balanced out by a poll from R&W and the underlying national shift against Harris. It is important to remember that this model uses correlations as well as national vote shares to obtain each state average. This means that every state poll affects every other state. So a single poll that is good for Harris is not necessarily going to push things in the state in that state in her favor. I'm guessing they're alluding to Pennsylvania there. But quote, the model looks at the whole picture of the country, not single spot polls. The trend is continuing in Trump's favor and has shown little signs of changing since it began at the end of September. Momentum is building. And with just over 3 weeks left, Harris might not have the force to reverse direction of voters, he added. Harris entered the race in July when President Joe Biden ended his re-election campaign. We all know that was a coup. They pushed him out. She enjoyed weeks of positive headlines and record-breaking fundraising. However, a recent bump in the polls has gradually unraveled, and the election model has reflected a reversal of fortunes, with Trump overtaking Harris in recent weeks. This is why you see leftists' heads exploding all over mainstream media. But overall, the most likely outcome remains unchanged from Friday, with Trump projected to secure 312 electoral college votes compared to Harris' 226. With 538 votes up for grabs, the magic number for victory is 270. The shifting dynamics also diminish the likelihood that Pennsylvania, which according to the latest JL Partners poll shows the two candidates in the dead heat at 47% each, will be the deciding state. And we also know that, you know, most of these polls, they don't really reflect people that's showing up to the polls, because Trump normally overperforms compared to these polls. But Nevada, for example, has moved toward Trump by 3.1 points this week, and he is now predicted to win it in 60.5% of our simulation. That means he has moved from toss-up to lean Trump. This is great news. In Arizona, Trump win probability has increased by a further 2.6 points, keeping it firmly in the likely Trump column. So hopefully this holds true, barring any shenanigans and things like that. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little let down because I just read when I went over this article, I just read probably to about right here, and it said when it said here that Harris handlers placed some restrictions. I was hoping to hear about these restrictions. Maybe I'll do some more research and see if there's another clip floating around out there pertaining to the restrictions that they put on Brett Baier for this upcoming interview, which I'm very much looking forward to. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.